All right, good. All right, so once again, this is the CVA Parent Google Training. This is week 2. This is our Chromebook session, and we're going to be covering, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, everybody. We're going to be covering device-specific tips and tricks, and then Chrome super user tips and tricks. So if you clicked, Natalia, did you share the link for the agenda in the chat?
Yes, it's above, but I can resend it again.
Okay, would you? So if all of you, if you would like a copy of the agenda so that you can follow along, you can just click on the link in the chat, and then you'll be able to see what we're going to be doing. Okay, and then also at the bottom of the agenda, oh, and I need to stop sharing this screen and share the other screen.
When I clicked the link just now, it told me access denied.
Are you logged? Are you? That's weird. Let me check the rights. It should be open for everybody. And you're logged into a Gmail account, correct?
Yes, my son's, yeah.
Okay, all right, let's see here. We're running a little slow here because I've got so many devices connected to the internet. I apologize. It's open for anyone on the internet can view it. Can you just try again?
Yeah, I'll try again. Bear with me just one moment.
Is it working now or not? Still not working? Jonathan, you also don't have access?
Yeah, it says you need access. Request. It's giving me an option to click a blue button that says request access.
Huh, that's weird.
Should I click that?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, you're getting an email letting you know if the file is shared with you.
All right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to open up my email, and I'm going to check because that'll come straight to me. So I've never seen that happen when it's open access to the public. That's really strange. All right, so let me get into my email. And for right now, what I'll do is I will just project mine onto the screen so that you can see it. All right, can you see my week 2 agenda now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So let me, I'm going to check my email to see if those requests came through so that you'll have access. But that doesn't answer the question why it happened in the first place, right? So I'll have to look into that. All right, so I'm going to be projecting my Chromebook onto the Google Meet so that you'll be able to see my full screen. And I am going to start with the Google shortcuts, okay? So these shortcuts are extremely powerful because they save time, right? And for people whose minds are wired for kind of computer techie things, you're gonna love it, all right? So you might already know some of these. And interestingly, the emails are not coming through from you guys for permission. And I don't understand why. So what we'll do is we'll just keep going, and then I'll try to solve that problem at 12 o'clock when we're finished doing trainings. All right. And then what I also can do is I can post it on the website so that you'll also be able to just go to the website and see it as needed. All right. Natalia, do you have the address for the website?
For the Google training website?
Yeah.
Let me double check.
Okay. I've got it here, so I can post it quickly.
I found it.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to stop. I have 2 different Google accounts open, so I'm going to stop presenting from my master account, and I'm going to present from my Google Chromebook. Okay. All right. Now, with the Google Meet, I just want to make sure you're all aware that down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see on my screen where it says you are presenting. And to the left of that, it says turn on captions. So if reading what I'm saying helps you, you can just click turn on captions and it will automatically just show you. It doesn't affect the rest of us. It'll just show you what I'm saying. So feel free to turn that on and off as needed. And then if you do have a question, you can just click on the raise hand, and then that lets me know you have a question. But also Natalia is here monitoring the chat. So you can put your questions in the chat, right? And then she either can answer them or she'll call my attention to it so that I can take care of you. All right. So let me get this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize that window. So now you can just see my background, right? So the first thing I want to show you is down here in the bottom left-hand corner, there's this white button. When you click on that button, it launches all of the apps. And this search bar right here is to search on your device. So if you're looking for an app, and I just read today that the apps are going away, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect your Chromebook use in the future. But when things are saved, like when you have downloads or if you take a picture, it downloads to your Chromebook. Your Chromebook has very little storage. Chromebooks were set up only for internet access. So you can't get a copy of Microsoft Windows or Microsoft Office and install it on a Chromebook. That won't work. So it's strictly made just to work with the internet, but you can download some files like PDFs and images, and different types of files like that, okay? The other thing I need to tell you about your Chromebook is you have to shut it down and restart it about once a week because Google is always improving the software that is installed in your Chromebook. And when you shut it down and restart it, the restart is what triggers all the new software updates to install. So if you're having any issues with your Chromebook, the first thing you want to do is shut it down and restart it. And when you shut it down, you want to count to 10 because sometimes it takes 10 seconds for all the different parts to stop running and then go ahead and start it up. Okay. So the restart is definitely one of the best things that you can do. Welcome, welcome. We're just talking about Chromebook use. And so you can jump in where we are. And Natalia, will you post the agenda again? Anytime somebody new comes in, you'll need to repost all the links. Okay, so what we for our newcomer, what we did was we clicked on this circle in the bottom left-hand corner of the Chromebook, and then it popped up I'm just going to back it out so that you can see it again. So when you click on the circle, it halfway pops up. And then if you click in the search bar, and this will search your device, but it also searches the web. You can see that's the last thing in that sentence right there. So over here on the left, when you click on files, this is where things get downloaded. Now, this is a huge improvement on Google's part because you used to have to know exactly where to go to find these files, and now it's just very obvious. So downloads will be in your download folder. If you take pictures, pictures will be in your camera folder, okay? And then if you have a Chromebook that that allows Google Play files, then that's where they would be in that third folder, okay? So go ahead, if you're on your Chromebook right now, go ahead and open up that, click on that white button, click on the search bar, click on files, and then click on downloads, and let's see if you've got anything in there. So this is where, if you take screenshots, which are different from photos, they go into the downloads, okay, into the files folder. So in the chat box, will you tell me if you've got folders in your files section? And if you do, will you tell us, is it just a couple or is it like a huge amount?
My son has a large amount.
He does.
Yeah.
And so is your son nearby so that he's learning this too?
Oh, no, he's
all right.
Actually, no.
No worries. But at least you'll be able to show him when the time comes. So that's good. That's good. And I definitely encourage you to have your, if you want, you're more than welcome to have your child with you. Okay, so when we're in these files now, if you needed to turn a file in, now you know where to find it so that you can attach it to whatever it is that you need, okay? So I'm going to just click up here at the top. This is what they call a breadcrumb trail. So if I click on the downloads folder, if I double click to open it, you can see now that it says my files, and then there's that greater than sign. And that means that you're inside a folder, and then I'm inside downloads, okay? So that's so that you can back out and so that you know where you went in the first place. Now over here on the left, you can also see the same thing. You can see that you're inside my files and that there are 3 folders: cameras, downloads, and play files. And notice this triangle next to play files. That means that there are folders inside that folder. So if I click on that triangle, it expands, and you can see now that I've got three folders inside there: movies, music, and pictures. Now I can tell you, I didn't create them. Google created them automatically for me. So if I click on play files on the left, it'll open up on the right, and you'll see the breadcrumb trail change. So I'm just going to click on play files. And now you can see that I've got movies, pictures, and music. Now, what I find interesting is up here in the breadcrumb trail, it says that it's read only, which means that I can't actually change any of this stuff. There's probably nothing in it because I don't really use my Chromebook for the play files. And the play files usually have more to do with if your Chromebook can also function as a tablet, then you will have the play files, because tablets run off of apps just like the iPad. And so the Play Store is just full of apps. So just so that you understand how that works, you might have play files inside your My Files, you might not, and that's probably why. All right. Now, on the left-hand side, you can see from the top, there's a recent button, there's an audio, images, and videos. So let's say your student or you have been working on a file on the Chromebook, and you didn't pay attention to where you created it or where you shared it or saved it. If you click on recent, it's going to show you the most recent files that you worked on. So it's like a shortcut for you know, when you're not paying attention, basically. And thank goodness Google has come up with this, right? Now, my Chromebook is a little bit slow, so you can see that it's doing the swirly, right? So it's taking its time, but you don't have to see what's on my Chromebook. Go ahead and take some time and do it on your Chromebook. And let me know, are you able to open up this? Are you able to find the folder that says files? And do you have all the same things pretty much on the left as I have? If you're able to find this, go ahead and put a Y in the chat. And if not, put an N in the chat. All right, good. And Miss Washington, is Marvin your son and you're logged in as him?
Yes.
Okay. Is it okay if I just call you Miss Washington?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, good, good. All right, Sandy, good. And Jaquetta, I know you came in a little bit late, so I want to make sure you're with us. How are you doing? Feel free to unmute yourself if that's easier for you. So, Jaquetta, you're still muted if you're talking to us. You want to make sure that you hit the microphone in the bottom of your Meet, which is, it'll be a tab with a red circle at the top. And you can also type it in the chat if that helps. So Jaquetta, I can see you because you have your camera on. Thank you. So if you're good, give me a thumbs up. And if not, give me a thumbs down on camera. Okay. All right. So can you see my screen in the Google Meet? Okay. Do you see at the bottom the microphone, the red button with the telephone handset? Okay, so to the left of that, there should be a microphone button, but also, good, there's a keyboard shortcut. So you can hold down the Control key and hit the letter D. And that should, is it the Control, or it might be, for me, it's Command, but for you all, it might be Alt. So you could try that. That might work. Okay, Jonathan, you're awesome, man. I learned on TikTok, if you push Control and D on your keyboard, it unmutes you. There you go. So Control and D, I guess, for diction. I'm not sure. That's not working for you, Jaquetta?
It didn't work for me either. It made me, when I pressed Control D, it made me pull up a bookmark for the tab that I'm on.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. All right. Well, then, so how are you doing, Jaquetta, just being able to see the screen that matches my screen? Are you able to see like recent up here on the left? And then my files? Give me a thumbs up if you can see this on your Chromebook. Meaning on your own files, not my files. Okay, great. Okay, great. All right, so again, how we got here was to click on the apps launcher, and then we can click on the search. Now, I've got files right here, But you might, I'm just going to close this out. If you click on this pop-up arrow, it expands and shows you all of the apps that are installed on your Chromebook. Now, because your children are in Charleston County is managing your Chromebook. So Charleston County pushes the apps out to your Chromebook. So they're more in control of it. Now, because I own it, I can put whatever apps I want onto it. But what I want you to know is you can just click, like you're going to use Google Drive a lot. So if you find the Google Drive recycle symbol, you can drag these into whatever order you want them to be in. So go ahead and pop up your circle, your apps launcher, and go ahead and drag them around so that the ones you use most often are at the top. So Chrome for sure should be up top. Docs and Slides should be up top. And then Files for sure should be up top. And then YouTube, probably the kids need, because there are a lot of instructional videos up there on YouTube. Mail, you might want to drag up there. And now you might have noticed that if I drag one over top of the other, a big circle shows, and that's because it's going to create a folder. So if you want, you know, all of your most often apps to be in the same folder, you can just click and drag them over one another so that no matter what, it's going to be easy for you to find. And then when you click on it, it pops up so you can see them all. And you can actually name that folder by clicking where it says unnamed. So if I just type Google, now it's called Google, and I have this folder. And if you want to drag them out, because sometimes you say, no, I thought it was a good idea, but it's not a good idea, you just pop it to open it up, and then just click and drag the app out of it, and then you can have a standalone app. All right? So I want to give you a chance to try that. So go ahead and click your white circle on your Chromebook, and then click the arrow, and I'll do it again. When I click the white circle, then click the up arrow to expand it, and then go ahead and drag your apps around. And put them where you're comfortable with them. Now, if you were able to create your own account on your child's device, which you might have been able to do, or you might be locked out because it's a Charleston County Chromebook, you can have multiple accounts on one Chromebook. And I've seen as many as, oh goodness, I've seen as many as 20 accounts, because when we use them in classrooms, sometimes the same Chromebook is used over and over again, but different kids grab different Chromebooks. So, so you never have to worry that there are too many people on there. But if everybody is downloading files, you could max out your hard drive, which is not, they're not that big. So the average right now for a Chromebook hard drive, 32 gigabytes is like standard, but they're going up to all the way up to 128. So it's more equivalent to what you would have on a phone, like the storage space on a phone. Okay. All right. Any questions? Well, first, let me just check. Put a yes in the chat if you were able to drag your apps around and put them in order. Put a Y in the chat if you were able to do it, and put an N if you were not able to do it, and we'll help you out. And for sure, because this is a training and not just an informational webinar, I will pause and give you time to try it so that you at least have that muscle memory when the time comes and you say, wait a minute, I know I did this. All right, so we'll take the time to do it. Okay, wonderful. Who am I waiting on? Ms. Washington, how are you? Let me know, yes or no, in the chat. Were you able to access your apps and change their order?
Yes, I was.
Okay, great. Okay, how did we do? Did anybody try to create a folder by dragging one over the other? If you did, put the number 2 in the chat. If you were able to create folders by putting 2 apps together, put the number 2 in the chat. Wonderful. And this is just a personal preference setting. So I just want to let you know that it's available if you need it, right? Because sometimes you get to the point where there are more apps than will fit on that page. Now, if you look over on my right-hand side, you can see these 2 dots right here. And that means that I've got more than one page of apps. So if I click on the bottom dot, now you can see that there are more apps there. So if you have 2 dots on the right-hand side, that means you've got more apps than what you can see on this page, all right? And you can just click on the second dot. You can also use 2 fingers like the peace sign and put it on your keyboard, your mouse pad. And if you swipe up or down, you will get the next page. So go ahead and try the 2 finger swipe on your keypad. And sometimes it makes it go away. And that's okay. All right, now the next thing I want to show you is the camera, because the camera is all important. When your children have to do paperwork like this, then sometimes they have to take a picture of it to hand it in, especially if you've got little guys who are just learning how to write and they're trying to learn how to hold a pen, right? For the first time, they're learning how to write their numbers, and you can't necessarily do that on a Chromebook, and especially if it's not a touch screen, okay? So to find the camera, the easiest thing for you to do is to click in that search bar up top and just type the word camera, and then the camera app is going to be right there for you. And then you can go ahead and click on it. So go ahead and find your camera app, and then go ahead and click on it. And so you can see now that I'm projecting off of my Chromebook. And if I wanted, let me find something that I can take a picture of. If I wanted to take a picture of my work here, I can just click on this button on the right-hand side. And now it takes a picture of it. The picture is down here, so I can preview it. If I click on that circle, I can preview my picture. And then, of course, in the top above it, there are things that I can do to edit it. So if I needed to write on the picture, I can click on the squiggle lines. And of course, we should be having some fun. So I might, oh, it's a little bit slow. I think it's time for me to get a new Chromebook. Let's see. So when it's ready, let's see here. I'm going to use black. So I can give myself a handlebar mustache, right? Because you should have fun. All right. So this is how you can take a picture of work, and then you'll be able to turn it into the teacher. Okay. And I'm just going to close out of that. I'm going to leave my camera app. Now, in the camera app also, the student can switch to video and can actually explain what he or she knows about a topic. So if we're doing fractions, percents, and decimals, and I need to prove to my teacher that I understand how it works, I can just click to videotape it, and I can say, so I'm just going to talk about fractions, decimals, and percents, and I know that 3/4 is the same as 0.75, which is the same as 75%, something like that. And then it would save, and you'd be able to turn it in. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do now is I want you to try to locate the camera app and take a picture and take a video, just so that you know how to do it. And then once you've done it, put a, what should we put? Put a 1 in the chat. So find the camera app, take a picture and take a video, and then put a 1 in the chat. Wonderful. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to be talking about has to do with Chrome. So when you're ready, go ahead and locate the Chrome app. And I want to show you one more thing before we jump to that. So you can see down here on my taskbar that I've got certain apps that I use a lot showing. If you want to, this is called actually your shelf. If you want to pin an app to your shelf the way I have, you're going to expand your apps window. And then if I already have Docs, let's see if I already have YouTube. If I want Jamboard, let's say, to be on my shelf, I'm going to use 2 fingers to tap on my keypad. Now, and when you do that, you should get what we call the right click menu. And you can see that it says pin to shelf. Now, for some people, the 2-finger click is difficult. So if you hold down the Alt key and tap with 1 finger, you'll also get the right click. So if I choose pin to shelf, now you can see down here that I have Jamboard on my shelf. I want to pin my files folder to my shelf because we're going to be going in and out of that pretty often. And I also want to pin my camera just so that it's always there and it's easy to use. Okay, so take a minute now to right click on any of the apps that you think are going to be used often. So I think that Google Drive is definitely one to pin. I don't know if the students use Gmail that often. I don't need the Play Store, so I'm going to unpin that. So you do the same thing in reverse to unpin it. You just right click and choose unpin. But go ahead and try to pin a few items to your shelf. And if there's a little white line under it, that means that it's open right now. It's in use. And we're going to be opening up Chrome. So definitely add Chrome to the shelf as well. And then go ahead and open it. So up here in the top right-hand corner is a plus button, or it's to the right of whatever tab you have open. So go ahead and click that plus for a new tab. And I want to show you some new tricks that have just recently come out with Google Chrome. And this works on Chromebooks, and it also works on any desktop or laptop. It does not work on iPads, though, because you can't, it doesn't work the same. All right. So what I need you to do is I need you to go up onto any one of those tabs, and I want you to right click on it. So again, it's going to be a 2-finger simultaneous tap, or the Alt click will give you the right click. And there's this new option here, add tab to new group. So if you or if your student has way too many tabs open to the point where all they see are the icon, they can't see the words, now they have this add to new group. So when I click add tab to new group, it lets me name the group. So I'm just going to call it CVA for now. I can give it a color. So I'm just going to choose red. And then I'm going to hit enter. And now you can see that there is this CVA tab, and there's a red line here because my Google Calendar tab is the one that I right clicked on. So if I want the CVA website to be inside this, I'm just going to drag it underneath that red line, and now it's inside that group. And I'm going to click on the same thing for the agenda. And now when I click the CVA red tab, they all get sucked into that one little tab. So now I have more real estate up top to work with. And when I click on CVA again, it'll expand, and now I can see those tabs again. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and try to create your own tab grouping, and I'll talk you through it because you won't be able to necessarily watch me do it and be doing yours at the same time. So again, you're going to choose any tab, and you're going to right click on it and choose add tab to group. And because I already have one, it says new group. Let me undo that. I'm going to close that tab. I'll remove it so that my screen looks exactly like your screen. So I'm going to choose ungroup. And now it says add tab to new group. And you click on that, name it, whatever you want, choose a color, and then hit enter. And then you can just click and drag tabs underneath whatever the colored bar is. And then click on the CVA or whatever tab you called it. Click on it to shrink it. Click it to expand it. Jonathan, what do you think of that? You're a super user. Did you already know that that existed?
No, not yet. I didn't know that.
Do you like it?
Yes.
It's pretty cool. All right, good. All right, so if you were able to create a tab grouping, put the word tab in the chat. Now, just so you understand, if you shut down your computer and restart it, the tabs do not save. It's strictly whatever you're using at the time. And then when you close it out, you would have to redo it. Okay. All right, let me take a peek at the agenda. I want to talk about the home button and the home icon and bookmarking. So on my screen over here, from the left, I have the back arrow, which will take you to the last screen you were on before this one. The forward arrow, which is only there if you backed up, and then you can go forward again. And then there's this refresh button, which if you or your student, are having trouble with a page, it's not loading properly, something doesn't seem right, you can hit the reload page button, and that will That will sometimes clear up problems. And then there's also this home button. And this, I don't know if you have it because you're under Charleston County. If you don't have the home button, then you don't have to worry about it. But on your Gmail, if you have an @gmail.com account, this home button you can program to go wherever you want. So if you love Pinterest, or if you are a baker and you're on allrecipes.com, or if you like the news first thing, you can click on this and program it to go where you want it to go. And that is programmable inside the settings, okay? So I'm not going to go into that right now. I just wanted to let you know that it's possible. And then when we have our the Q&A in a few minutes, then you can ask if you want to see how to do that. I can show you, okay? Now, all of these underneath my search bar are bookmarks. And if I click on, I can create folders on my bookmark toolbar, and I can put, watch this, folders inside of folders inside of folders. So bookmarks are a way to organize yourself. And so I want to make sure that everybody knows how to do it. So if you already know how to bookmark, would you put a 1 in the chat? And if you don't know how to bookmark, would you put a 0 in the chat? Okay. So the majority of you know how to do it. So for those of you who know, do you know how to do folders in your bookmarks? If you do, put an F as in for folder. If you do know how to create folders on your bookmark toolbar, put the letter F for folder. Okay. Then what I would like the three of you to do is, most people have a hard time organizing their bookmarks. So I want to give you all a task so that I can go quickly over how to do it with Jaquetta so that she isn't left out, okay? So for the three of you who already know how to do it, I want you to click on the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner of your account. And I want you to go to Bookmarks and then Bookmark Manager. And this is where you can click and drag things to put them in the order that you want them. Because most of the time is what you don't have to get organized. So I'd like you all to organize your bookmarks. And mine is super slow, unresponsive. So I'm going to exit out of here. But what you can do is you can click on the left-hand side so that you can get into the folder that you want to, or you can create folders by right-clicking and then drag things into those folders. Okay? So here, if I click on ALP, I know I've got a folder. And if I click on Monday.com, oh, I only have one thing. That wasn't a good choice. So if I want this to be down lower, I can just click and drag. I didn't want it to open up. Okay. So I can just click it and drag it down and put them in whatever order I want. So go ahead and you guys organize your stuff. And Jaquetta, I'm going to show you how to do bookmarks.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So Jaquetta, do you have your bookmark toolbar showing, or do you not see anything right here?
Where?
Do you have anything right here in the bottom left-hand corner underneath the back symbol, or is it just, it starts off with the white web page?
It just starts off with the web page.
Okay. What I want you to do is go to the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner and go to Bookmarks, and then click on Show Bookmarks Bar so that you get a check next to it. And when you do that, that's called a toggle button. It will, it's like turns the bookmarks on and off.
Okay.
So you want to click on it so that you have the check. And mine's a little slow, so my bookmark toolbar is going to disappear in a second. So now you should have the check. When you go up to the 3 dots and you go back into bookmarks, do you have the check now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So now you should have an extra little gray area below where you would normally do your search. Do you see that now? Do you have this extra? Yours will probably be empty, but do you have this extra little gray area now?
Let me see. He has so much on here. Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, good. So if you wanted to create a folder on this toolbar, you would have to right click on it somewhere in the background. So you can see when I hover over canvases, it turns gray. So I have to make sure I get my cursor somewhere in between, but still on there. And then I can either do the 2-finger click or the Alt 1-finger click. And then down here it says add folder. Were you able to do the right click on the bookmark toolbar to get this window that I'm showing, the new folder window?
No, ma'am, not yet. Okay. One more time. You said go in between.
Yep. So you need to find an empty space on this gray toolbar. And usually at the very edge at the top or the bottom is where works best. And that's only if your toolbar is as full as mine. If it's empty, then you can just click anywhere, right? So
Right.
if I hit Alt and a single click, or I can do the 2-finger click, I get this pop-up window. And then I go down to towards the bottom where it says add folder. And then I can create a folder to put things inside. So what I told students when I was working with them is your folders should be named by subject. So this might be English. And then I'm going to hit the save button. And then I'm going to do the same thing over again. I'm going to right click, add folder, and then I would call it math. So I always, when I was working with students doing this, we always would create 4 folders, one for each of the major subjects, so that then they could save things inside those folders.
Okay.
All right. So have you successfully made at least one folder?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now let's go to add a tab. Let's see. Just type in ccsdschools.com. Let's say that you want to bookmark this because you normally have to go in all the time, right, to check what the news is. So instead of having to type in ccsdschools.com all the time,
Let's go to the bookmark.
there's a star. Do you see the star at the end of the address bar where ccsdschools.com is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when you click on that star, now you should see the folder that you just created as being the default. But if you click on it, you can put it in any folder that you want. And if you don't want it in a folder, you just want it to be on the bookmarks bar, you can choose bookmarks bar and then done. And then it will be on your bookmark toolbar. Now, my bookmark toolbar is so full that I have to scroll all the way to the end to find it. But these are all draggable. So I can drag it up and over, and I can put it right on the toolbar so that it's right here in the middle. And now no matter where I am, if I click on that, it's going to go directly to that website.
Okay.
All right. All right. How are my friends doing who already knew how to do this? So Miss Washington, Jonathan, and Sandy. Have you been able to organize your bookmarks?
Yes, and he had a lot.
I know, right?
Yes.
And it all comes down to time. So next week when we do Google Drive, I'll be giving you time to organize your drive. Okay, once I show you some tricks. All right, so here we go. The last thing that I want to show you, and we only have 3 minutes. The last thing I want to show you is extensions. So all of these up here on my toolbar are the extensions that I have added. Now, extensions are like mini programs that make Chrome even more powerful. So if you wanted to install extensions, what you would need to do is down on your bookmark toolbar on the left-hand side, you should see a 9 square grid that says apps. And if you click on that, you're going to get a, it looks like I deleted mine. You're going to get a window that really looks like just a new Google tab. It'll look like the Google window, but it'll have one of the first things up there. It'll say Google Web Store. So you need to click on the one that says Google Web Store, and it looks like a suitcase with a Pokemon ball on it. And you can see it up here in my window. So once you're in the Chrome Web Store, and if you were not able to find that icon, if you just do a search for Chrome Web Store, it'll be the first thing to come up. So if you know what extension you want, like somebody tells you about this great new extension, you can just type it in here. And the one that everybody needs is Kami. So type in Kami and hit enter. And you'll see this like cornflower blue, purpley Kami. And you want to click on that. And you're going to have to add it. And over here, it will say add to Chrome or add extension. You want to click on that. Mine says remove because I've already installed it, right? So you're going to click on add extension, and then you're going to get a drop-down menu asking for permissions, and you're going to give it permission, okay? All right, now, there is a post. Our time is up. I wish I had another hour with all of you. There is a link in the chat for the post-training survey. And so because we are doing the raffle, to make sure that you get your submission for the raffle ticket, you have to fill out that post-training survey, okay? So go ahead and click on that link. Natalia is going to hang out here. I'm going to have to leave this meet because I have to get into the iPad meet for all the people who are coming for iPad training, all right? If you have any other questions, please put it in the chat. And also, I'll have your email because of the post-training survey. So any questions that you have, I'll be able to answer your questions, all right? So thank you so much for joining us today. You made our day. I'm going to stop recording the meet now. And I'm going to jump into the other, meet. All right. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I know it was a little bit fast at the end, and I'll be more than happy to go over extensions in a future session as well. I can also do a video and share it out so that you'll have it to walk yourself through. Okay. All right. All right. Bye-bye and thank you.
Huh? Yeah, I'm coming out of my I'm filling out a survey for the meeting that I was in. Just wait. You don't need to put clothes on. Did you take a bath last night?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well then put clothes on. You sure I did, God.
Jaquetta, I'm sorry.
Am I supposed to be in this one too?
No, I'm going to
Oh.
close this meet out because it's stopping me from being able to function in the other meet. And so
Okay.
you can still continue what you're doing, but we're going to leave the meet. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries.